Chapter 8. A conspiracy is a secret. Your dad thinks you being in a composite class is a conspiracy, and you think your dad coming down to check that you're in a composite class is a conspiracy, Jed asked. I'm telling you, it's definitely a conspiracy against me, Aiden said. You are so paranoid, I said, sighing. My dad reckons that's just because you're paranoid, it doesn't mean they're not out to get you. Who's out to get you, and what's a conspiracy? Sam asked. He'd been walking a little ahead of us, but stopped and turned around. I rolled my eyes. It's a secret? Don't be annoying, just tell me. And I had to bite back the words I wanted to say, the ones that weren't nice or polite and would get me in trouble with Luca if Sam dobbed on me, which he would. The three of us caught up to him and turned into the winding street at the end of which Jed's and my house. Well, are you going to tell me? He demanded. I opened my mouth, but Aiden gently nudged me. No, Sam, a conspiracy is a secret, Aiden said. It's when a bunch of people come together and plan something that nobody else knows about, and they make up all these lies and secrets to cover it up. Aiden surprises me sometimes. He was soccer obsessed and could be spiteful, like insisting on calling all the Year 5s babies. But then he'd do something nice that reminded me that he was a big brother of two younger sisters. He had patience for Sam that no amount of politeness gave me. So it is still a secret technically, Aiden finished. Like my mum being pregnant. We all stopped walking, and I spun towards Sam. My face aflame and my fists clenched. My heart was about to beat right out of my chest. Jed's hand landed on my shoulder, and he pulled me back a bit. Fred, you can't. Aiden looked from me to Sam and back again. That wasn't your secret to tell, I yelled, and then I watched Sam's eyes fill with tears. He screamed right back at me, It's my secret more than yours! And he raced off ahead of us, his backpack bouncing as he ran to the end of the street and our house. My house. At dinner, I was surprised that Sam hadn't said anything about the afternoon and that Annika and Luca hadn't either. I was so certain he'd tell me, even though I wasn't sure what for. He'd been right. The baby was more his sibling than mine, which meant it was more his secret to tell. You're being awful quiet tonight, Luca said as we washed our plates. Everything okay at school, Fredo? I shrugged and kept on drying. Oh, and we already onto the surly teenager routine then. But he smiled when he said it and gently bumped his hip into me until I pretended to smile back. Where are you going to put the baby? I blurted without even knowing the question was on my mind. Where will it sleep? Luca paused for a moment, but then he picked up his pace again and shrugged. Not sure yet, but I was thinking of maybe building a kennel for it in the backyard. I rolled my eyes when he laughed at his own silly joke. But then he said, We don't know, Fredo. It'll definitely be a squeeze once it's older. Actually... He dried his soapy hands on the tea towel and turned to me. Annika and I were thinking, and we'll have to talk to Jeff about it too, since it's still your pop's house. Maybe we'd look at converting your bedroom into 2 rooms? I whipped my head around to stare at him. Luca held up his hands. Whoa! It was just a preliminary discussion at this point, Winifred. Nothing is set in stone. And that was another policeman word, preliminary. No matter what the dictionary said, it meant that Luca wasn't just thinking about something. It was definitely going to happen. But that's Mum's room. The peeling paint, squeaking floorboards, some of the books on the shelves, and even the faint smell of lemons from the tree planted outside the window were all my mum's from when she was my age. I know it was, Fredo, but it's your room too, and it might actually help us out. I could feel my eyes getting watery and I blinked them quickly, not wanting to cry. Luca reached out and gently moved my fringe out of my eyes. Then made as though he was going to bring me in for a hug, but I stepped back and lifted my forearm up to my head and rubbed my eyes quickly on my sleeve. I mean it, Fredo, nothing is set in stone. We'll talk about it some more and... Fine. I threw the tea towel down, still with half the dishes to be done. I've got homework to do.